Hey guys, how's it going? This is RBT coming at you with my Week 7 college football recap video. As always, there's still a few games going on, but I'm too tired to wait till they're done. The LSU game just went final, so that's the last game I'm going to recap. But right now, you still got Ohio State, Indiana. Ohio State's winning 52-34. Southern Miss and Central Florida's in overtime 24-24. Mississippi State's beating Tennessee's 27-24. Texas A&M blowing out Louisiana Tech 39-16. And Cal is beating Washington State 7-0 in the second quarter. Okay, moving on to the games that are done. Louisville comes back to beat Pitt 45-35. Pitt came off to a early lead, but Louisville came roaring back in the third quarter, scored 21 points. They improved to 6-0. Teddy Bridgewater had a good game. As always, he might actually be a dark horse for the Heisman if they keep winning and go undefeated. But yeah, they're just going to keep steadily rising in the polls, and they improved to 6-0, to the first Big East win of the year. Kansas State hangs on to beat Iowa State in Annis, Iowa, 27-21. Colin Klein, I was just talking about the Heisman. Colin Klein's probably leading for the Heisman now, probably split with Geno Smith. Everybody knows it's going to be a tough game against Iowa State, but all that matters is they won. They're still undefeated. They improved to 6-0, 3-0 in the Big 12. So I think they're the team to beat right now in the Big 12. So congratulations to Kansas State. Iowa improves to 4-2 and 2-0 in the Big Ten play. They beat Michigan State 19-16 in double overtime. Michigan State, aside from their first drive of the game when Le'Veon Bell scored a touchdown, they could not get anything done on offense at all. It was your typical Big 10 type game. I forget who I predicted in this game, but I do remember saying that this game was going to be low scoring, and it pretty much was. Iowa had to come back though in the fourth quarter, scored 10 points to Michigan State's 3. It was really late in the game too. I think it was about 40 seconds left in the game when Iowa scored, or 20 or something like that. But I mean, a win's a win, 19-16. So congratulations to Iowa. Northwestern improves to 6-1 and is now bowl eligible, and they beat Minnesota 21-13. I think this was expected for them to win. I mean, it was kind of close, but the big story in this game is head coach Jerry Kill of Minnesota had another seizure on the sidelines, or I think they said it was at halftime. This is his second seizure in 2 years as head coach during a game. That's not a good thing. I mean, if that's something that's going to be detrimental to your health like that, you might need to reconsider what you're doing and take a less stressful approach, because it's not worth going through seizures like that if you're going to be a head coach of a team. It's not worth it, really. Rutgers is still undefeated, 6-0. Beat Syracuse 23-15. Probably a little bit closer than they're liking, but Gary Nova and James Jamison leads the offense to beat Syracuse by 8. I've said this a lot, and I'm not sure if you've heard me say it now, but it'll be very interesting to watch if Rutgers goes undefeated until the last week of the season, and Louisville goes undefeated until the last week of the season. Both teams will more than likely be top 10 opponents. So in that last game of the season for each team, Louisville and Rutgers could be a top 10 type matchup, maybe even higher ranked in the polls. I mean, maybe the winner of that game, if everybody else has a one loss, goes to the championship game. That'll be something to watch and be very interesting. I mean, I think these two teams are really good. I mean, I don't think they're better than a team like Alabama or Oklahoma, Oregon, but I do think they're really good. So watch out for those two teams because they could surprise some people. Oklahoma over Texas, 63-21. I feel kind of stupid because I think I predicted Texas, but like always, David Ash has been having a great year, but he never shows up in this game. I don't know why. I mean, this is just an absolute rout. It was an embarrassment to Texas Longhorn football. When you're getting recruits like that, you shouldn't play this poorly in a game, and it's just sad. Blake Bell had 4 rushing touchdowns. when I finished watching. I don't know how many he got in the rest of the game, but still, he was having a great game, especially in the red zone. I think they even did put him in the game, not only in red zone situations, which is not normal, but it worked out well. Landry Jones played pretty well. David Ash played poorly. The defense played poorly. They're really missing Jordan Hicks. He's out with the injury. I don't know how big that was, but I mean, I'm sure they'd have played better if he was in there, but no excuses. They should not play like that, and that's just pathetic. Oklahoma improves to 4-1, and they're looking a lot better than they had early on in the year. So congrats to Oklahoma. Wisconsin beats Purdue 38-14. Purdue's really disappointed me, really, because I thought they were going to be the team to beat in that division since Wisconsin's been struggling, and since Penn State and Ohio State are ineligible for postseason play. And they, for the second straight year, they haven't been able to stop Monte Ball. He had over 250 yards rushing in this game. He's actually set the Big Ten record for rushing touchdowns in a career. So that's a big accomplishment for Monte Ball. So congratulations, they get the win 38-14. Purdue's having some injuries at quarterback, but they no excuse to give up 250 rushing yards. Wisconsin's playing a little bit better, but I mean, I don't know how good Wisconsin really is. I mean, I don't really know if it's Wisconsin's that good or if Purdue's defense is just that bad. Who knows? I think I predicted Purdue in this game, so that makes me feel even more stupid. A game I did predict right, Ole Miss over Auburn. Ole Miss wins 41-20, and it's their first SEC win in, I think, 16 games. So that's a huge thing. Another partying hard in Ole Miss or in Oxford tonight. At that added on to this was their homecoming game, I believe. So Auburn's defense is playing poor, and Clint Mosley did give a little bit of a spark. I think Auburn's been averaging about 15 points a game, and they scored 20. So I mean, that is an improvement. They were down 14-0. And they scored 17 points in the second quarter to come out on the. I think they were leading for a little bit, but then Ole Miss just comes striking back in the fourth quarter, scored 17 points. It seems just like that they scored. It was like a 20-24 ball game, and just like that they scored 17 points. So Auburn is now 1-5, 0-4 in SEC play, and they very easily could be 0-6 right now. I mean, it's obvious Auburn's not going to make a bowl game this year. I mean, if it gets so bad, I mean, it wouldn't really surprise me if I saw some people getting fired on the coaching staff. I don't think they'll fire Gene Chizik just yet, but I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people calling for it, but I don't think they should do that just yet. I don't know. Virginia Tech comes back to beat Duke 41-20. Duke came out to a 20-0 lead. Didn't seem like Virginia Tech could stop them at all. And what was I saying? They couldn't stop Duke's offense at all, and they could not get anything going on offense. Logan Thomas looked really poor in that first quarter, but after Duke took a 20-0 lead, Virginia Tech scored 41 straight points. Defense came up big. After that first quarter, a bunch of turnovers forced by the defense, and they really needed this. They control their destiny in their division in the ACC. Because North Carolina's ineligible, they'd probably win that division, but their biggest competition is probably Miami, and Miami's playing quite poorly. So I think it's between Virginia Tech and Miami right now, but I think Virginia Tech will end up winning that division. But this was a big game. If they would have lost this game, I mean, I wouldn't know so much about that anymore. But I mean, they won. Congratulations to Virginia Tech. Sorry. Temple surprisingly beats Connecticut in overtime, 17-14. They improved to 2-0 in the Big East, so that's kind of surprising. I don't think anybody really saw that. I thought Temple was going to be the worst team in the Big East this year, and that's obviously not the case. So congratulations to Temple fans as they improved to 2-0 in their re-stint with the Big East Conference. North Carolina beats Miami 18-14. Giovanni Bernard, I think he ran for 270 yards. I might be wrong, but this is Miami's first loss. Like I was just saying, I think that division's between Virginia Tech and Miami, and I think Virginia Tech's gonna end up winning because Miami's defense is terrible, really. And I think Stephen Morris got hurt in this game too. I don't know the extent of the injury, but I just know he got hurt. So, yeah. UCLA beats Utah 21-14. I thought Utah was gonna win, but Brent Hundley and Jonathan Franklin both had big games. Utah, ever since Jordan Wynn got injured, has not been able to get too much going on offense. So that's gonna be a tough task for Utah overcoming the quarterback problems, and they're now 0-3 in Pac-12 play. So yeah, Maryland survives a comeback from Virginia. Maryland was winning 17-0, but then Virginia comes rallying back. Virginia had to score a touchdown late to win 27-20. Maryland's been playing a lot better. I did give them a lot of. I was tough on them the first few weeks because they beat, who was it, Furman or somebody. They beat somebody FCS school 7-6. I forget who it was. And I thought they were just going to be a terrible team this year. And their offense has got a lot better under Perry Hills. So yeah, they improved. They're 2-0 in the ACC right now. Let's see how far they can go. I don't think they'll win their division or anything, but I mean, it'll be fun to watch. Notre Dame beats Stanford 20-13 on a controversial goal line stand. My opinion on that, I thought he was down. I saw a bunch of GIF files and videos on different angles, and it did look like his shoulder was down or his arm was down before the ball reached the goal line. So I think it was a correct call. Especially there wasn't enough evidence to overturn the call with it being such a big call. I mean, maybe if they had called a touchdown on the field, maybe you give him the call. But especially with them, he called they were blowing the whistle way too early. But I mean, they can't really control that. The players can't. But when they were blowing the whistle, he definitely hadn't crossed the plane of the goal line yet. So that didn't make sense. But I think it was a correct call, so congratulations to Notre Dame. Like I've been saying lately, they're back. Their offense isn't necessarily going to light you up every game, but their defense is as good as anybody in the country, really. So Notre Dame's back. College football is better when Notre Dame's back. When Notre Dame's a top team, college football is a great sport. I mean, it's a great sport, but it's a better sport when they're a top team. So I wasn't so quite sure that Notre Dame could pull it off, but they proved me wrong. I mean, I think I did predict Notre Dame, but I was kind of iffy on that. So, congrats to Notre Dame. Michigan beats Illinois 45-0. Denard Robinson has a big game. Illinois, I do not know what's going wrong with them. Ever since their game against Arizona State, they've done atrocious. So, I don't know what's going on there in Illinois. Alabama beat Missouri 42-0. Alabama went out to a 28-0 lead, and then it started raining. Then Missouri came back, and it was kind of scaring Alabama fans there, and including myself. But no problem out for Alabama. T.J. Yeldon and Eddie Lacy both went over 150 yards rushing, so big game on the ground. Second play of the game, Alabama had a 70-something yard run for a touchdown, so that really shows you how the game was. So Alabama is now bowl eligible and still going to be the number one team in the country. Oregon State shocked me. They beat BYU 42-24. I didn't think they were going to score that many points on BYU, but they proved me wrong. Forget the quarterback's name. Was it Chris Vaz? Came in for injured Sean Mannion and had a huge game. BYU's defense is really great, but I mean, Oregon State definitely came in here and surprised everybody. I mean, Oregon State's offense has been struggling pretty much as it's been, and then BYU's defense is great, so that sets up for a low-scoring game, and yet they scored 42 points. So I think Oregon State's for real. Their defense is really good too, but and they had to win 42-24, scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. Even though Ryan Nelson has finally came back after missing a few games, they still they still lose. And congrats to Oregon State. I think Pac-12 is going to come down to either them or Oregon. That's going to be a huge Civil War game. Oklahoma State survives a scare in Lawrence, Kansas, 20-14. Kansas had a big rally in the fourth quarter, scored 14 points. They're only points of the game, but Oklahoma State hangs on to win 20-14. Kansas has not been getting blown out really this year. They've had a few close games. So credit to Charlie Weiss. He doesn't have much to work with, and he's and they're not winning, but they're not getting blown out. So I guess that's a positive. And speaking of getting blown out, Texas Tech beats West Virginia 49-14. Geno Smith is like a completely different quarterback today. It's crazy how weather and wind can affect a quarterback's play. So Texas Tech wins 49-14. West Virginia's defense is terrible. I thought West Virginia was going to outscore them, but Texas Tech's defense is actually quite well. They did struggle against Oklahoma last week, but I mean, West Virginia hasn't really faced a defense like Texas Tech thus far until this game. I thought Texas's defense is pretty tough last week, and I thought they did well, scoring 48 on them. Then this week, I kind of was proved wrong when Oklahoma scored 63 on them. So I think West Virginia is still a good offense, and it's still a good team, but I don't think they're a top 5 team, maybe a top 20 team, but definitely not a top 5. Your offense can only bring you so far. Just a few more games. Boston College loses to Florida State 51-7. This was expected. Florida struggles with Vanderbilt, but they win 31-17. Vanderbilt tried to rally at the end, but special teams came up big for Florida. Fake punts, going for 2 different things, different variations, but they won 31-17. They have a great defense, so I think they will lose a few games this year, or maybe 1 or 2, but their defense is really good. But I think their offense is going to cost them a few games because I'm not sold on their offense just yet. TCU beats Baylor 49-21. Big game by TCU. I mean, they're having the quarterback problems with Casey Pahal suspended indefinitely. I don't know if he left the team or not, but coming up big, scored 49 points, so that doesn't look like too much of an issue. Arkansas wins 49-7 over Kentucky. They called the game in the third quarter due to lightning. So USC beats Washington 24-14. Washington played them close. I expected that, but I wanted Washington to win, but it is what it is. Cincinnati is still undefeated, beat Fordham 49-17. I guess that's it. Other than Arizona State beat Colorado 51-17. I predicted Arizona State was going to get 52 points, so I was close there. South Alabama almost beat Arkansas State. That's my local college, and they almost got their first FBS win, but they lost 36-29 against Arkansas State. That's been my week. What's this week 7 recap? So I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, roll Tide, go Sox, and go Titans. See you. Be sure to subscribe. If you haven't already, I'll see you later. Have a nice day.